If you are new to art journaling or you've ever wanted to start art journaling, I invite you to join me for this beginner session on different tools and techniques for creating beautiful textured, layered pages for your art journal. I'm going to walk you through step by step my process, and I hope you all join me for this fun, relaxing, stress-free art session. Today I thought I would just play around with some of the materials I have and create a layered look. I'm using this Ranger, it's called Ranger, I guess it's an art journal. It has this little pocket in it you could store. I used to store my stencils in there, but I haven't used this in years as well. So I'm just going to open it up and get, maybe I should open it something like this, and then I'm going to add this clip to hold it down, and then I'm just going to grab some materials and start playing. When you are creating and you have a blank page, for me personally, I really enjoy the process of adding marks onto the paper before I begin. So I will do that often. What I'm going to do is start some mark making with these and go from there. And you're just going to see that a lot of times art journaling is just about playing and having fun, and it's not about creating some magical, masterpiece. It's not about being hard on yourself. It's just, let's relax, reduce anxiety and stress, and create something with your hands. It also keeps you focused, or you get out of your own head. And I also like that I'm not on my computer. So I'm just creating a mess, and you know what? It's fun. I think a lot of times we get, and we see it too much online, about being perfect, when you know what, it's not about perfect. It's about doing what you like and having fun. Art shouldn't be making you feel like you're not good enough. It should just be about enjoying the process. So I added some of this, these water-soluble crayons. You can add colored pencil. I'll show you some colored pencil. You can add colored pencil, and we'll see what it looks like when I add a little water, but here's some colored pencil. Now these are Artex. This one is an Artex colored pencil, but I have all kinds of different brands of colored pencil. This one is a Faber-Castell. I seem to be into the purple today. And I'm just randomly putting colors down that I just feel like putting down. And I'm just playing. That's it. So we've got some colored pencil, we've got some wax crayon. You can actually use like regular pencil to create marks. You can actually include words like love or happy. It doesn't matter. And now what we're going to do is, you can add water, but I'm going to add gesso because I'm going to add many layers on here. And this is me adding gesso, okay? I really want people to let go of this feeling that we get that we have to be perfect. And maybe it's just me, but I think for far too long I didn't share my art because I'm getting paper towel. Far too long I didn't share my art because it wasn't good enough or it wasn't perfect. And I feel like actually all the people that are watching me on YouTube, you guys just were always giving encouragement. And I think it makes a difference when we encourage each other to let go and have fun. So you can see, if you add the gesso, it smears everything, which is fine because this is just the first layer, so it really doesn't matter. I kind of like that actually. I think what I might do now is add a little more to the edges. Kind of like that look. And I really like this yellow color. That's the other thing, you're learning what colors you like. What colors and shapes and patterns that you like. That's another bonus of doing this. Now, why don't I add a little water instead of the gesso? So I've got a little bit of water, and you can see how that blends. Oh, I really like it. There's still a little bit of gesso on my paintbrush, but overall, I like the mess I'm making. The goal for this activity is not to make something specific. The goal of this activity is to make a mess, to see color combinations and patterns, and what is it that you like, how do things work together. That's the goal of this. It's not to have a finished product. And also, when you do this, let's say you left this for later, then later this could be the base for a mixed media piece that you're going to do. So when you sit down to create, it doesn't have to, everything doesn't have to be a finished project. You don't have to finish it. This could be like, oh, I'm done for today. I had my 10 minutes of painting and I think I'm going to use this as a base for mixed media or a drawing that I'm going to do. So I just want you to consider that for a minute. Now, one of the things I wanted to do was use this, and I've seen people doing it, using these things to make sort of patterns, and I don't know how that's going to work, but I've got some green, and I think what I'm going to do with the green is just put like kind of a layer here. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but I put a layer there, and then maybe I'm just going to do this. Let's see what happens. I might have put too much. Maybe I'll put some there too. I don't know. Okay. Let's do that. And then I'm wondering if this is going to, oh, that's interesting. Again, playing, it's a layer. It's about experimenting. I really like that. That could be a background for, you know, like if you're doing some kind of outdoor scene. Now, mind you, I feel like clearly I put way too much paint on this, but I've not really used these before. But if I'm working on a canvas, it would be really fun to play with these. So overall, I like that. I wish I didn't use as much, but you know, I'm going to wait for it to dry and then I'm going to keep going. Okay, so I used a hair dryer. Hopefully, let's see. I used a hair dryer to speed this up a bit. Now it's not completely dry, which is fine because I wanted to add some more color to it and see what happens. This channel of mine is really about drawing and creating with freedom and without judgment of yourself. And I post almost daily because I personally really love doing this. It's the best part of my day, really, other than hanging out with my daughter. It's the best part of my day. So I invite you to subscribe if you're looking for a channel that embraces freedom of creating without the stress of being perfect and trying new things and just overall having fun. So I try different things all the time when it comes to drawing and painting. I'm trying to get some white paint out, but I can't. Maybe I'm not meant to use the white paint. Okay, I'm gonna take this beigey color. It's called Titan Buff. So I invite you to subscribe. I also have a membership where we're doing a lot of, right now we're doing a lot of drawing faces and figures. We're gonna be working on side profiles, so I'll include a link in the description of this video if you're interested in my membership. And let's see what we can do here. So now I'm just taking my brush. I took a color that I enjoyed, even though I wanted white, it wasn't there, so it wasn't working for me. And I'm just seeing what happens. I'm not, oh, you don't want to be invested in this. This is playful. I like that. I really want more of whatever this color is, so just pick colors that you really, really like. There's no rhyme or reason. I really like that. Okay. That's kind of cool. Now, what else do I want to do? Maybe I want to add a pattern of some kind. I love patterns. My favorite one, actually I have two. They're almost the same pattern. I've had these for years, but I really like these two patterns. I think I'm going to try this one because it's bigger, and why not? And I'm going to go with my favorite color right now, which is this really vibrant neon pink. And all I'm doing is using an old book as my palette because I just love using books that were meant for the trash but repurposing them. So I really have fun. I really like the way this book looks and all the textures with all the paint on it. So I've got that, and I've got this old roller that I'm going to use. And all I'm gonna do here is just rolling it up. Let's see what happens. I feel like I need more pink than that. Okay, hold on. And maybe I won't use the whole thing. I'll just use what I've got on here. And we'll take that off. And see, that's super fun. I love the colors. I love the pattern. Now, what else can we do? I wanted to kind of show you these. This is such a pretty stamp, and I've had it for years. I used to use it. And what I did was I put acrylic paint on it. Maybe I'll try that again and see what I can do. I think I'm going to go with purple, maybe? I'm going to just take a little bit with my paintbrush and I'm going to paint it on there. Normally you would use ink with these, but I don't have any ink, so I'm just going to stick with a paintbrush and see how that works for me. And if it doesn't work on this, I'll try it on another page because I know it's going to be so pretty. Just painting it with my paintbrush, and the stamp I've had for years, you can just wash it off. Now I might have gotten too much paint on all the crevices, but I don't know. The point is to let go and see what you can do. Okay, so we've got that. And now I think, I think it's dry here, and I'm going to turn this over. Wait, okay, and I'm just going to press down firmly. And let's see if this works. And then you have a nice little stamp, and you can do it in a cup. Let's see if I do it here. Didn't come out as much, but still, look how pretty that is. Maybe I'll add a little pink to it, and maybe I'll put a pink one down there. Sometimes you can mix two different colors on it. It comes out really, really fun. Okay, so I've got some pink on there, and I'm just adding it right on top of the purple. And we'll see if this works. I'd love to know if you're trying this at home, if you're going to just try to see if you can, you know, try different patterns and things and see what you like. Okay, so now I'm just pressing it down. By the way, I see a ton of these stamps at thrift stores. That's cute. I like the texture. It didn't come out as well as that one. That's fine. Do I have another one? I have another one with this pattern. Let's see how that works. I'm just going to use the same paintbrush. And I'll put it down here. Ooh, I like that. Okay, I'm gonna use that one more often. Okay, I'm going to dry these and then we're going to move on to the next layer. Okay, the next step that I want to do with this is I have a little bit of white paint there, and then I have this, it's acrylic ink, and it's really just a watered down acrylic. It's this really cool orange color, which is this color that I really like, so I think I'm gonna put just a dab right here, mix it with some of the white, and put it on here. So really just playing with colors, textures, and seeing basically what kind of messes I like. It's not as dark as I wanted it to be, but I do want to cut out some of this green. And notice how it's mixing in with a little bit of red. I don't know why, but it's pulling in from one of these colors. So now I'm just sort of playing with that. A nice pink. I like the way that turned out. You can't be too invested in your work. when you're just playing, because you're experimenting and seeing what you can create. Okay, so far so good. And I'm wondering, oh, I know what I like to do. The other thing I like to do is get this scraper tool and then just scrape some of it off. You can also do that with one of those patterned ones that I used earlier that created this green. But sometimes it's nice to scrape your stuff away and reveal what's in the back. And then I actually just kind of play around there. All right, I like the way that looks. And maybe I'll do that with a little bit of gold as well. So I'm just gonna put a little gold, whoops, put a little gold on here, literally making a mess. And it's almost like the look I like is a vintage look. I like things to look old, like old wallpaper in a room that's sort of peeled off and you can kind of see the wallpaper beneath. That's the kind of thing that I love. And so when I make a mess like this, it just kind of reminds me of that, like the texture here. I think this would be a great background for an art journal page. I think the only thing I want to do is add, I don't think I want to add a lot dark blue. I do like this, but I was kind of wanting more of a brighter blue. See if I can find a brighter blue. I was thinking of something around this kind of blue goes with that. And maybe I'll just put it on my fingers and play with it that way. So these are all just different techniques you can use when you are creating to see what you can do and actually discover. You discover new things, you discover what you like, you discover what you don't like. Maybe there's patterns that you like. Maybe you don't like using your fingers to paint. But that's what we do on this channel. I invite you to join me and take some time every day and create with me in a really, I would say, supportive and comfortable environment without judgment, and really learning not to judge yourself, because that's ultimately that's what I'm doing. And sometimes I watch my videos and I think I must just, I think a lot of times I'm just talking to myself. Like the narration of these videos is me talking to me. Because if you are a perfectionist or if you're someone who gives yourself a hard time, you really have to talk yourself out of that. I love the way this looks, and I'm going to stop here and leave this, and I want to invite you all to make your own mess, discover what you like and you don't like, and at the end of it, this is the final result. It's not a finished painting, but I love all these colors, and I'm certainly going to look forward to the next time I open this book and I want to start on an art journal page. This will be where I start. I don't have to stare at a blank page. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy creating.